Lucas Bros Moving Company was cancelled so quickly, most people don't even know it existed. Oscar-nominated twin brothers Kenny and Keith Lucas are most known for their underground classic, Judas and the Black Messiah. Before reaching this level of success, they had to start off local, doing stand-up comedy. They parlayed this exposure into a deal for their highly controversial stoner comedy cartoon that heavily promoted cannabis use. Today, Fox is looked at kind of like this weird, racist, right-wing network, so it's weird to look back and see that they were the ones who purchased the rights and aired this. I say that because Lucas Bros Moving Co. is a black ass show, man, for real. You thought Legends of Chamberlain Heights was something. The Lucas brothers own a van and are sole proprietors of a self-titled business. Somehow, they keep getting customers, but instead of doing any work, these two niggas sit on the couch, get high, and then end up on some insane adventures. That's it. For instance, in one episode, they had to travel back in time to make sure the younger versions of themselves purchased the Bone Thugs and Harmony album, because in an alternate universe, Kenny purchased an Oasis album instead, which led to the brothers slowly growing apart. Or the time they discovered Jay-Z's Blueprint album was actually instructions for members of the Illuminati to follow in order to initiate plans to destroy the planet. There's even an episode where a homeless brother named Jumanji is endorsing hallucinogens and goes on a full-on mushroom trip. She wet it, I'm wet it. She wet it, I'm wet it. She wet it, I'm wet it. This show is legit all over the place. If I had to describe it in one word, random. In terms of randomness, this one here rivals Robot Chicken levels of random. Random characters doing random things, and random celebrities pop up doing even more random shit. Ja Rule, Don King, Master P, Vince McMahon, Eddie Murphy, Steve Urkel, Juicy J, and many more. Speaking of celebrities, many were actually on board to take part in the voice acting. Black comedians like Lunel, Hannibal Buress, and Lil Rel, rapper Action Bronson, and WWE Hall of Famer Jake the Snake Roberts, just to name a few. I mean, to me, that sounds like a talented enough cast, so what exactly happened? Out of all networks imaginable, why was Fox the one to believe in it? Why did it fail and become this cult classic nobody has ever seen? You're definitely gonna want to grab a drink and snack for this, and you'll probably enjoy this one more in a cloudy atmosphere, if you understand me. 4:20 p.m., you know? Make the room nice and cloudy. I'm about to do the same, then we'll hop right into the crazy world of Lucas Brothers Moving Company.
The best that ever did it. I'm just keeping it real. FUBU. FUBU.
The year is 2013, it's Sunday night, and I'm watching what I like to call the Simpsons block. For years, it was the law to be in front of my TV Sunday nights at 8 p.m. to catch the new episode of The Simpsons and whatever other shows followed. Over the years, this Simpsons block introduced me to a countless number of pretty damn interesting and or classic shows. King of the Hill, Married with Children, Futurama, The X-Files, Cleveland Show, and more. One Sunday night, I had no idea I was about to experience one of the coldest shows that somehow nobody knows about. Twin brothers Kenny and Keith Lucas were born and raised in New Jersey. Fast forward through elementary and secondary school, and now it's time to make a career choice. The two would ultimately both decide to go to law school. After 3 years of dedication, they dropped out to pursue their true passion, comedy.
Kevin Spacey plays a lot of evil white dudes. He's sort of like the Michael Jordan of playing evil white dudes in Hollywood, I would say. High caliber, man.
The Lucas brothers have a dry, monotone, stoner style of comedy, and sometimes they can even be slightly dark. They play off each other with back and forth dialogue while setting each other up for the punchline. It's almost rhythmic. They took a gamble on themselves and hoped this style would translate well to the big screen. Lucas Bros Moving Company debuted on November 23, 2013. It ran for 2 seasons, amounting to 17 episodes. It focuses on brothers Kenny and Keith, who live in this Brooklyn brownstone. And this is their roommate Jean-Claude Van Damme. He hates the Lucas brothers because he thinks they're nothing more than inconsiderate, lazy, dirty weed heads. And to be frank, he might be onto something. In one episode, the brothers ate all of Jean-Claude's fruity holes, so they had to go on a wild journey consisting of shaving their beards, getting signed to a multi-million-dollar modeling agency owned by Don King, becoming international supermodels, then having to kill their money-crazed manager, resulting in them saving enough money to buy a lifetime supply of fruity holes.
Oh my God, you crazy.
That randomness displayed there is a typical episode of Lucas Brothers. It's all over the place, and if you blink for a second, you'll miss a wild transition. As I mentioned before, the brothers own a moving company, yet they never move a goddamn thing. In all seriousness, throughout 2 seasons, I've seen them move one item. Was it a bookshelf? Nope. How about a heavy table cut from ebony? Nah. You know what they moved? A f***ing balloon animal. Yeah, hard workers those Lucas brothers are. Real hard workers. And this here is the woman who gave birth to the 2 workaholics. Mama Lucas is your stereotypical black mother. Boisterous, strict, and loves going to church. It was a short-lived series, so they don't dive too deep into this character. As for their dad, he ran out on them years ago, which makes episode 4 the perfect place to start. The bros donate a couch to their boy Gerard. He owns the local bar in the neighborhood. Gerard asks where they got the couch from. They let Gerard know that they found it on the streets. It's a street couch named Dwayne. After a quick hygiene check, Gerard discovers bed bugs and demands they get rid of Dwayne before the health inspector closes his business. Kenny and Keith are torn. They don't want to get rid of their couch, no matter how insect infested it may be. Gerard teaches them the importance of letting go and moving on to bigger, better things. He advises them to start with Dwayne, because if you truly love something, you set it free. The brothers agree to take Dwayne to the wilderness and let him loose. They take one last picture together and then say their goodbyes.
Go on. You're free from the ghetto. Get out of here. Dwayne. You're making this too tough for us.
They hop in their van and drive away depressed as they reminisce over Dwayne. Now, I need you to predict what comes next. I'm sure you can. Just go ahead, take a guess. I'm joking. Like I said before, this is one of the most random shows I've seen in my life. I could lock you in an isolated thinking tank for the next year and you'd never land here. But for shits and giggles, let's see if you guessed correctly. Of course, they almost hit a moose, flip their van, almost killing themselves in the process, end up stranded in the wilderness and having to call Jake the Snake Roberts, who retired from WWF to become a tow truck driver. They walk to a nearby tavern to use the payphone when they meet someone they haven't seen in decades, their father. Years ago, he stepped out to get some cigarettes and I guess he's just been lost ever since. Daddy Lucas explains that Kenny and Keith have stumbled upon Freedom Town, the place deadbeat dads come to when they're sick of their families. If he's caught being a responsible father, he'll be kicked out of the club, so he agrees to help the boys get their van fixed. They hand the keys over to the Freedom Town mechanic, but he wants to know who these new faces are. Dad explains that these 2 strangers are new members because they just abandoned their son, Dwayne. Later on, the brothers are hanging out with their dad. He explains he can do whatever he wants all day because he has no responsibilities, so they just sit around playing NBA Jam. That night, Daddy Lucas is hosting a poker tournament. The deadbeats are having a grand old time, then the mechanic barges in. He shows the crowd a picture of the bros and their alleged son, Dwayne, who is in fact a couch, not a child. That's when Dad is forced to admit his relation to the boys.
Hold on. These guys aren't really deadbeat dads? And I played poker with them?
Feeling betrayed, they hold the Lucas family at gunpoint. Dad calms the tension by having a heartfelt moment. He gets the men to admit they in fact love their children and were just scared at the thought of not living up to expectations. Dad then has a touching moment with his sons as they bond, and he apologizes for his absence in the past. And like the true deadbeat he is, poof, like a thief in the night, Pops just vanishes into the wilderness. The Lucas bros are fatherless again. The episode ends with the boys reuniting with their abandoned street couch, Dwayne.
We really miss our street couch, even though he gone away.
An annual 3-on-3 basketball tournament is going down, and the winners get 3 fast passes to Coney Island. The thought of not having to wait in line is enough to get the brothers to join. They grab the multi-talented bartender Gerard and form the ultimate team. As if the three weren't a big enough threat as is, Kenny reveals his new pumps and demonstrates his enhanced dunking ability. Being down to 2 players, they go to bed and pray to God for Michael Jordan to save them. They wake up the next morning, and guess who's in the kitchen whipping up breakfast? The greatest of all time, Michael Jordan. Except he has a big-ass unstable head for some reason. I'm guessing it's because they sleep right next to this Jordan bobblehead thingy every night. The next day at the tournament, the barbershop bullies are making fun of Michael, which ignites a fire inside of him. After a long, vigorous day of battling team after team, Jordan's presence propelled the brothers right to the finals. The barbershop bullies take the Lucas Bros down to the wire. In the end, Keith hits the winning dunk and the team wins the passes. That's when they let Michael know, despite his efforts, the 3rd ticket will be going to Gerard. While enjoying a day at Coney Island, Michael Jordan infiltrates dressed like a Lucas brother. He lets them know he stole Gerard's fast pass and tied him to the coaster tracks, which will surely result in his death. But it's taking too long, so Mike decides to ride the cyclone and kill Gerard himself. With the magic of their new pumps, they inflate the shoes to gigantic size and kick Mike beyond the stratosphere. From a street coach named Dwayne to a big-ass bobbly-head Michael Jordan. And we haven't even scratched the surface yet, man. You guys have been warned. The bros have the day off work. They plan to spend their downtime reminiscing about the good old days. But they're rudely interrupted by Jake the Snake, who just put a boot on their van. They choose to be responsible and head to the DMV to rectify the issue right away. When they arrive, Lunel happens to be the agent. She makes them aware of all their outstanding tickets. The fine to get their vehicle released is a whopping 1 stack.
Hey, look, here's the deal. How about we, don't pay that, you take the boot off, and we forget this ever happened?
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a great plan.
In comes a large, rich white dude. He makes his way straight to the front of the line and drops stacks on the counter. The brothers can't help but be in awe of this mysterious money man. Later on at Gerard's bar, they end up telling him about the mysterious wealthy white dude. To their surprise, Gerard has heard of him before. Apparently, the gentleman's name is Uncle Taco, and he has food trucks on corners all over the city. People love his food. A light bulb goes off. Gerard tells the brothers they should start a food truck, but with burgers, which will in turn make them money, which will in turn free their vehicle from the shackles of Jake the Snake Roberts. Not even after 1 full business day, hired goons arrive and kidnap the brothers. They're taken to the man himself, Uncle Taco, and they have a face-to-face. Uncle Taco isn't too fond of outsiders selling meat on his corners. Pause. He extorts them and demands 25% of all profits. Kenny and Keith sell their meat, get rich, pay off their tickets, and get the boot removed. Mission complete. So it's time to retire from the meat game, continue their day of getting high and reminiscing about the good old days. Uncle Taco pulls guns, lets them know he's gotten used to the extra cash they bring in, and says they're never allowed to leave the burger game.
Now I'm starving!
There's only one way to settle this. Can you at home, can you take a guess how they're gonna settle this beef? No pun intended. A fight to the death? Nope. How about Russian roulette? Nah, of course not.
A wacky road race.
Yep, you heard correctly. A wacky road race. If they win, they can retire. If they lose, they cook forever. Night falls and every food truck in town assembles at the starting line. Ja Rule and Ashanti apparently had some free time, so they kick things off. And Uncle Taco takes an early lead. He's playing dirty by ramming other drivers off of the road, but the Lucas brothers are determined. The 2 vehicles meet up at a red light, since wacky road races require you stop at all traffic signals. On the green, they take off head to head. Uncle Taco is losing slightly, so he activates his nitrous oxide. He goes so fast that he kind of mysteriously vanishes. That's when Ja Rule gives some expert insight on what just took place.
Uncle Taco went so fast, he broke the space-time continuum and went back to the future.
Oh, word?
The Lucas Bros win. Juicy J congratulates them, and the next day they wake up to a fresh new ticket on their moving van. I don't mean to beat a dead horse or anything, but this episode marks the halfway point through the series. And these lazy bastards haven't moved yet. In all honesty, they could have gave them any profession in the world and all these episodes would still play out the exact same. Funny enough, the original draft had them working as installers for a cable company, paying homage to a job the brothers actually worked when they were younger. The idea was left on the cutting room floor in fear of it being too similar to The Cleveland Show, which was also a part of the legendary Simpsons block I mentioned earlier. Keith Lucas was actually quoted saying, "It would be funny if we were movers because we've never moved a thing in our lives and we're so fucking weak and we hate physical labor." You know one person who doesn't hate physical labor? Lunel. In the previous episode, she was a DMV agent. She quickly changed her career path and is now a delivery driver. The brothers ordered a pair of Bret the Hitman Hart sunglasses. Lunel, the delivery lady, drops them off, and they begin to argue over who gets to wear them first. Excitement is immediately placed on pause when Lunel hands them their second package.
Dear Lucas Brothers, we're auditing you. Love, the government.
They head over to Gerard, who also happens to be a tax consultant. He quickly files their taxes and lets the bros know that they owe the government 10 stacks. Gerard tells them they have to go to tax court and just pray the IRS takes pity on them. They don't, and they're actually sentenced to 6 months in jail with no chance of parole. After getting processed and slipping into their jail outfits, the brothers are surprised to see who their cellmate is. Daddy Lucas. He lets his boys know the exclusive club known as Jail is one of America's best kept secrets. It's actually a great place to be. They don't want regular people to find out about the hidden gem, so they make up stories to make it seem bad. The next day, Pops gives the boys a tour of the prison, which includes access to hookers, an internet cafe, IMAX theater, roller coaster, go-karts, and a personal butler. They meet the warden and he's down with the bros. He's cool as shit. Gerard visits, but he didn't come alone. He brought Mama Lucas along with him. Mom and Dad are reunited for the first time in decades, and she loses her cool on the coward who walked out on her years ago. She threatens to get even with him as she's dragged away kicking and screaming. At recess, Warden announces he's being relocated to another prison. On his exit, he introduces the new warden, Mama Lucas. She immediately implements new rules and makes prison a terrible place to be. Yeah, jail, a terrible place. Could you imagine that?
Damn. I can't spend the rest of my life with that woman. That's why I left all of y'all in the first place.
Now that jail is miserable, Daddy Lucas plans a jailbreak. He plays his warden wife her favorite Keith Sweat CD and distracts her with the good old sex and R&B trick. He's about to start lipsing her up, but then he vanishes. They catapult clean off the premises where Gerard is waiting in the getaway vehicle. Guns are drawn, and the three are about to surrender. They have a sad, emotional, touching heart-to-heart. As the boys bravely tell their father they'll cause a distraction while he escapes. Like a truly changed man, he refuses to leave his children behind. He ran out on them twice before and vowed to never do it again. Yeah, I wish that were true, but nah, once a dirtbag, always a dirtbag. He got the fuck up out of there ASAP.
Just go on. Dad sure knows how to leave us.
The Lucas bros are taken straight back to their cell. Days later, delivery lady brings a letter. It's from Dirtbag Dad. He lets them know he arrived at a new jail upstate and that him and the warden are having a blast. He also recommends they get locked up there one day because the food is to die for. Hey, I'm not doubting you, Pops, but I can almost guarantee it's not as good as the soul food prepared in episode 13. Kenny and Keith are doing groceries for the annual potluck because they plan to make soul food. That's when they bump into the barbershop bullies. They let the brothers know that they will in fact be the ones making soul food.
What are you gonna do about it?
I ain't gonna do nothing about it.
Nothing. You Lucas bros.
We don't respect you. Whoa.
Level-headed Gerard pieces it up before a fight breaks out. He lets them know when two parties want to bring the same dish, there must be an official cook-off. Winners have their food served, losers do dishes. Challenge accepted. The bros head to the kitchen and make macaroni, but it tastes awful, so they add some hot sauce. Oldest trick in the Black People Handbook. Still tastes bad though. They come to the realization the dish is missing soul. Unfortunately, there's a little roadblock here, you see, because years ago, many years ago, they were having trouble getting past that cheap-ass son of a bitch named Sub-Zero in Mortal Kombat. So they did what any rational gamer would do. Sell their souls to Satan in exchange for the win. So now they must visit or return to hell to get their souls back. In other words, the Lucas brothers must die. Before plummeting to their deaths, they have concerns that they might end up in heaven instead of that place down under.
What if after we jump, we go to heaven instead of hell? We're too bad for that. We smoke weed. That's true. We cheat at Monopoly. I always kick pigeons when I see them. Oh, yeah.
They plunge off a building into the pits of hell. A kind, tortured soul saves Kenny and Keith using his paddle boat, then drops them off at Satan's trailer. Here we learn those Sub-Zero problems didn't actually occur many years ago when they were careless, naive children. It was actually just 2 days ago. So Satan says it's too soon to have it back. But he does offer a wager. Win a match of Mortal Kombat and the souls return to owner. Lose the match and do dishes in the pits of hell for the rest of eternity. Here in hell, what happens in the video game happens in real life. The brothers almost lose all of their health and start bleeding uncontrollably. Then Satan falls for the okie doke. That red substance was actually hot sauce, the oldest trick in the Black People Handbook. They use it to melt Sub-Zero into a puddle of diluted, watery hot sauce. Satan admits defeat, returns the souls, and the cook-off commences. The barbershop bullies surprisingly do an amazing job, but they stand no chance against the newly acquired soul. The bros add one drop, making the food irresistible. Gerard and the judges declare the Lucas brothers the winners.
Flawless meal.
Now, even after breaking down these wild-ass episodes, I swear I'm just beginning to scratch the surface. The ideas get even more creative and out of this world the deeper you go, pause. Like when the bros discovered the sister-sister twins had a secret, evil, demonic third sister who was set out on killing them with her army of clones. Or when aliens are revealed to have been watching Earth for their entertainment. Then they pull a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and to boost ratings, they swap out the mom for a new light-skinned mom. How about after being typecasted for decades, Jaleel White has slipped into depression and become a recluse? The Lucas brothers must create an invention to shrink down, insert themselves into the actor's subconscious, and convince him to bring the beloved Urkel character back simply because they want to see a Family Matters reboot. And that still isn't even the craziest shit I've seen. This show is all over the place. If I had to compare this or make an analogy using other cartoon references, this is like a black stoner version of regular show. It just kind of sucks that it had little to no marketing. Almost like Fox didn't want to give it the full cosign. It didn't really have that push behind it. As a result of that, it's just one of those rare hidden gems that a handful of people know about. One of those shows that just got buried in history. Nobody has really seen it, and the ones that have barely remember it. But f it, I like it. Far from a masterpiece, of course. There's room for improvement. Who knows? It may have gotten there to that elite level with another season or two. You know, who knows, man? If this looks or sounds like your type of shit, yeah, I suggest you check it out. Doctor's orders. And that's it for today, guys. If you're still watching, you already know I consider you my people. I appreciate you. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like and consider subscribing. I have a bunch of other videos you might find interesting. Until next time, chase your dreams, do what you love, get better every day, man. It's the doctor signing out. Gimme my music.
I move in the nighttime, shit, everything I do in the nighttime. Make one turn two in the nighttime. Zoom from that bright light, move by my right side. Crew in the spot and it's like 2 o'clock. Wrist never been in cuffs, evident.